so goes the powerhouse. And the COVID-19-Man has come to deliver you from the empty land, from the ones who have been silenced to the promised land of the AlefBet, which is the original place for the soul of a man, where he can now get his jubilee and abide safe like he's never been, in the power of the Father, in the powerhouse, cause that's what Word Electric, Davar Tech, in the AlefBet we're connected. Word Electric, Davar Tech, in the powerhouse we're connected. Truth in the Torah where it is, that's right. And whether you like it or not, I just don't give a damn, cause in this thing the end is gonna be for sure. It's got a date before the song began to score. This ain't no lie, we about to fly, cause in the truth there's nothing that can be denied. Here's the COVID-19-Man is hooking you up to the AlefBet, to the powerhouse, with you waving. The COVID-19-Man is gonna hook you up, cause that's what Word Electric, Davar Tech, in the AlefBet we're connected. Word Electric, Davar Tech, to no one else I'm genuflecting. Word Electric, Davar Tech, to the powerhouse I'm connected. And then I want to get your power back, cause you will find in there the powerhouse not scared. You won't be silenced, nobody can touch what you will find in there. Gets to cut the masking back of lies, the righteous now they cries, cause the COVID-19 is gonna hook you up to the powerhouse. Live the power show, ride this mule around. My fellow Davarians, easier said than done, I'm telling you. I mean, Mondays is the busiest day I have. I have to work from 5 in the morning to 5 o'clock, and I only have 2 hours to get started. I couldn't do it. And it's just that I had too much material. I do not know what to pick. I have to be choosing a lot of stuff. But we got it. I got it started, and so it takes a while to figure out, what is best. But I'm going to keep the same topic that I started with Sunday, I figure, and then I just develop and get in depth little by little, okay? We're going to be looking more about the whole chapter today on those verses, I want to spend our time looking at it, because I do believe, as I said, this is the end times of the retarded garden of, the ideology of persisting on running a retarded garden when we had a receiving all along. And so God is just about fed up with men trying all the different ways to run the alphabet, and they had not come up to the way he has run it from the very beginning. In 6 days, he showed mankind how he can run a resilient alphabet by creating things that are self-sustaining and self-procreating, like it is all the insects, all the animals, all the plants. They all celebrate the festival of completeness, festival, of multiple rejoicing, okay? The FMR, the festival of completeness, the festival of multiplicity of rejoicing. Because what's that? Fruitful, multiply, and replenish. The FMR, to be fruitful, multiply, and replenish. And he made everything that he made. He showed mankind that he was so fabulous at managing the alphabet and creating things that are self-sustainable and resilient like that. So ourselves, we are like that. Our bodies are like that, And so having shown that, Then he came in. So I'm sorry, guys, that I started late, Brian. I know you were trying to reach me, but it's a it's a hard thing to do. I mean, this is I had 12-hour schedule, and on top of that, I have to be thinking how to put in order this thing. So this is quite of a challenge, but I'm gonna stick to the gun. Maybe it'll take longer to end, but I'll do my best, to try to start earlier. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. But still, I start as best as I could right now. So good to see you guys, Andy, Brian, and we have Gabriela, Janet Flores. Qué bueno de verte, mija. Hay que venir a visitarme. Es una bendición tenerte. All right, so everybody else can join us, as we progress. But today we're gonna get more into the verses. But like I say, God gave us, you know, resilient. God, let me take you to another office that I decided to use for today. All right, and so we can begin the centerpiece. So like I was telling you, so that was, in the background there, you can see, there's a mingle of the resilient garden, the green area, the trees and everything, and the mix with the mulectic industry, the man-powered, upheld, lame economies, the ones that need the manpower to run. So we have a mixture there in the background. So we can see the mingling of those things, okay? But all the stuff that had to do with little cars, little buildings, little crane on the side here, all the things in the background, all of that, you can see that it takes a lot of manpower to run those things because they are not self-procreating. So we have a mixture in there in the background, of the resilient garden of God, which creates a soothing, panorama. When people look at the greenery, it gives you a soothing feeling because that's our natural state to be in the fellowship of those items that can be so, they are so resilient that they can procreate and reproduce. But the mulectic garden, the mule, the materialistic undertakings leading earth or leading everyone in the mule is not that resilient. Like the mule that's born out of a horse and a donkey cannot procreate. Also, the industries that men have also for centuries right now. We have done all they can to use the alphabet, to create things for ourselves because that's what we chose in our garden, that we were going to be the judges of what's the good way and what's the bad way of using the alphabet. Because God was going to teach us, how to live in the fellowship of yours, understanding his mindset, and he was going to be flowing through us. The one who has proven, that he had made a resilient garden, all for the service of this body, which is his temple, that he was going to be inhabiting here with us, but we decided to give it a shot. So we decided to begin from the ground up, right? So that's why man became dust. Okay, you want to start from maybe now, I'm going to make you the dust. You try to make things out of the dust from the beginning then. And so the best we've done is what you see in the background. An industry like that with freeways, buildings, parking lots, hospitals, those are about the best things. And none of those things up until now can procreate themselves. So we live in a very mulectic industry still. Okay? And so that's why, but people are in all of this industry. They think that they have moved up, they moved up in life, that they have achieved something, that way. They don't not realize, how wonderful the festival of multiple rejoicing is, the FMR, the way God created everything to celebrate his completeness. So everybody was going to be fruitful, multiply, and replenish. Do the FMR, the celebration of the completeness of Hashem. But we have gone our ways now, and God is about fed up right now with all the Davar, that's the word, that we have used to run different simulations of the alphabet, but they all fall short of the resilient garden. They all end up as a retarded garden, a mulectic garden. And that's what we're looking at. So I'm here to take you out of this similitude, this this thing that man have created. Try to run things the best the way he can, but he's still falling short. Up until now. So that's what we're looking at right now. So we're looking at different things. So let me give you a little commercial, and then we're going to start reading some scripture here, that I have planned to share with you today from Ezekiel 34, and then I'm going to get to the end of that because the title has been, Fear Showcases Best Your True Deity. Okay? Because what you fear is really what you respect. So that's why the Bible recommends the fear of the Lord is the beginning of Hokman. It's the beginning of wisdom. Okay? So if you have no fear of the Lord, then you will be susceptible to the retarded garden. And you will be fearing the bosses in the retarded garden as if they had created something so resilient like God. They hadn't even approached that. But that's what you're going to end up. Because if you don't fear God, your fear is going to be given to something else or to someone else. Because fear is going to be given to somebody. If you're not fearing God, but if you're fearing God and the alphabet and the order in which He wants to keep things, then you are in the original economy, my friend, and nothing can hurt you, nothing can harm you. All right, so that's the thing here to remember. Now, let me take you to one of my commercials here that I like to share on this one. Yes.
Was it because there were no graves in Egypt that you took us away to die in the wilderness?
Why must we die?
Fear not. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. The Lord of hosts will do battle for us. Behold his mighty hand. God opens the sea with the blast of his nostrils. Lead them through the midst of the waters. His will be done.
He opens the waters before them, and he bars our way with fire. Let us go from this place. Men cannot fight against a god.
Better to die in battle with a god than live in shame.
Praise God and down into it!
also, sorry, I just realized I had put it up. No, what I was saying is, let me regress. I was saying that this is what I was talking about. You see in there, okay, make sure I can see the sound thing. Oh, okay. You see in there that I was sharing the movie about that Moses in there crossing the Red Sea. That's the Red Sea parting. I made a song about that. Probably get to hear it in a little while. But Red Sea parting, that's because it talks about the last time I spoke about this. You know, the whole picture that you see there, God was pointing out. So behold the salvation of the Lord. Behold the completeness. What makes you whole and complete is listening to the mindset of God that He left it in the Torah. The 304,805 Hebrew letters, that Moses, his servant, wrote in this Torah, so that we will enter into oneness with his mindset. That is, my friends, the papyrus solution. Papyrus for paper, and solution is because it's C. So the parting of Red Sea, every time you part the Bible and you open it up, you're entering to complete yourself. You enter into what God made you for, to understand his mindset, so that he in turn will be dwelling in you, and you will become what man intended for man to be, the dwelling place of God upon earth. That was the whole purpose for mankind existing, okay? And so I'm holding this papyrus, that was given to me by bear fruit, on the 21st, of December. I say when the 280 days exactly after the idea of the Covid-19-Man was conceived last year. So then I came up with everything that day. That's when I presented the HDTV 28, the Hadabarin Torah Volts 613, because to me this is my powerhouse of broadcasting. Like the Tesla power, the Tesla tower was made so that everybody will get electricity from the air just with an antenna, free energy that way. Well, I have the AlefBet, the power plant, the power source for our souls, because the entrance of that word. So I have situated myself, so that I have this whole channel just to empower you to go back to your heritage. Because when you realize that you were made to be power, a power plant, because God is the power source. Aleph means power or strength. Strong house. He's the powerhouse. And therefore you're his power plant, because he can dwell with you and give all of his energy. So we are, run by what I can tell you, by words. That's our energy, and so, and that's how we supply everything to all creation, especially to the retarded garden. Okay, before I read this, let me bring you a picture here, and if I can bring it here, so I can bring you to this. Yeah, I think I have it ready. Let me take you to the observatory, see if everything was okay here. To my other observatory here. All right, let me see, because I'm. Oh yeah, second one. I get to see the picture. All right, so here. All right, so we see that, and okay, and now let me see if I can get you to see this one here. Okay, it's not showing up, but let me see. Let me see if I can bring it up. Order, move up. See if I can see it here. So, but I wasn't ready for this one. Okay, and see if I can move up again. Just give me a second here. Yes, okay. Move it all the way to the top. All right. But this is how I view my soul for this hour. I'm this power plant, connected to the power source, the AlefBet, the Father, because that's the land that is the proper land for the soul, and so I'm setting you all up to be this electric city, this wordectric city, because we were made to be that, all right? And so one thing that I wanted to share with you before I get going, start reading all the verses, is that I was looking at some pictures that I'm sharing, and that's how we get our charge. We get turned in the reading of the Torah, in the parting of the Red Sea here, of the papyrus solution, That's how we're empowered. But this, if some of you are not familiar, this is what is called a Tesla tower. Tesla came up with this idea that you could build this tower, and then people, you have to get some special antenna and pick up on the frequency, and they can power their whole houses. They don't have to get for free. As electric power, this knowledge has been around, the whole of the last century. It's been around, but because people cannot make money, the people in the retarded garden are interested on making the money because that's how they think they're improving themselves. So this thing has been held back, but this technology has been there a long time. But this provided free energy, zero cost energy in that sense. So this one, and there's other things here, let me show you. And there's another thing here. So that tower, and then this is called a crystal radio. Okay? That little antenna, little copper antenna, picks up a radio signal and empowers the crystals in there, and you don't have to use battery. So the radio frequency that is coming from the voice being emitted or the song being emitted, through the radio waves, this thing picks it up and it energizes. So this copper wire has a way of energizing and bringing to the picking up the frequency, energizing something so that you don't have batteries. Okay, so it's word power. So this radio is word power. It's powered by the sound of a voice or the sound of a song. So those things are zero cost in the sense that you don't have to be paying for battery, And so that's something that they have in common. And then, this is another view I'm going to share to you in a while. I like to think of this because everything that you see there I like to put the observatory here because, that's what we do in my show. We are our observers. We're watching the whole world through the eyes of the Torah. We're making our observations. So when you look at this whole manpower, what manpower does what the manpower creates in this retarded garden, that cannot duplicate, that cannot do the FMR, because they're not able to, be fruitful, multiply, and replenish. We create pictures of the AlefBet. AlefBet means strong tower or a strong house. So everybody has to have a little business that looks like a strong house or a strong building. So the observatory plays the role. So we create observatories. In the background over there, you will see the pictures there of the banks and industries here in downtown and different businesses. And they all have the little strong house, which also could serve as a picture of the Davar. Have different ways of looking at it. But everybody has a little strong house, and we, the manpower, has to bring it to pass, has to make it happen, And so all of that is because we are wordectric and Davarectric. That's our inheritance, So I shared with you the other day this about Moses, the first plan that God made to provide the wordectric and the Davarectric infusion to the land of Israel, to the children of Israel. He was the one, and that's how he introduced himself. God introduced himself in the picture in the Davar of a power plant, because that's exactly, what a power plant does. It brings light, it brings electricity. So he saw this tree that was burning, that had light, but it did not consume. It was not in a way stay radiant. Okay, so when it comes, I used to preach a sermon a long time ago to the kids. It's called "There's a light that burns, and there's a light that brightens." Okay, there's a light that consumes something, and there's a light that makes you brilliant. All right. So the Davar, the Davar is that brilliance, is that knowledge of God that brightens you, that makes you a bright person, that makes you a brilliant, somebody that can think of things too and solve things. But when the word is given, so that you only know a word and you only know how to be an echo chamber, what can you do with that word? You know the word of a car, but you don't know how the car is connected. If you don't know the work of a car, you don't know the connectedness of the car, which means the meaning of the word Yud Hevave, the display of the connectedness of what works and what functions, what's the whole meaning of his name. So if you do not know a car in the Yud Hevave, in the connectedness of everything to make it animated, then you have a light in the sense that you can see something, but you can only see something to go and consume it and devour it. because you're looking to get the comfort out of the car that you should be getting out of the AlefBet. You need to get notoriety. You need to be recognized by the car. So you have the light that consumes, the light that burns. That's why you're only known as a consumer. And that's the worst way to keep at the bar, to only be an echo chamber, And so that's the whole thing. So Moses was the first power plant. God introduced himself, as a power plant, and showing him that what he's going to do. He was going to be the wordectric word passing out of him, to the rest of the people of Israel. So they will be led by this power plant. And this is the Powerhouse Block Party Festival. In our mitochondria, this thing that is found in the cell. The top picture is the picture of a cell here. There's 1/80th of a cell. We have about, trillions of cells in our bodies, some people say 33, others say 100 trillion. In any case, there's a lot of them. But this is the picture of one of them, and it's only 1/80th of that. Like you divide it into 80 parts, and somebody put another picture to contrast it with like a festival here, going on, outside, in a block party that's lit up by the manpower. So we have this going in ourselves. It's a mitochondria is the power plant of this body of flesh. Okay, and it runs this whole thing, this whole body. So our bodies are electric as it is. So all these things I have to do. And now here we have the bodies ourselves. We are electric. And so our mind and the word is that we are the best antenna possible to receive and understand. That's why, to the point that we can understand people's feelings, we can detect with such a high power antenna in the sense that we can perceive to the minutest detail. We can see if somebody's upset, if they're being sincere in the things they're saying. You can see if they're shifty. You are so observant. You can tell a lot about people when they're telling you things. You can get to figure them out because you are that well created antenna. You basically here to perceive the character of God and how He feels about the care of words, about the care of the Davar. But people are completely dead to that mindset right now. They don't have anything for that. So I like that how they have the head and the light on the top, because the entrance of that word give a light to give an understanding unto the simple. But our bodies are like this, and I have I think I have one more picture here that talks about that. This is convert body heat into electric energy. I got this from a company that makes hearing aids, but the hearing aid doesn't have any battery because they figure out they create something that as long as it's attached to your body, then your body energizes. It's like a battery that's powered by the electric energy of your body. So that people that have this hearing aids don't have to ever worry about the battery because your own body becomes the battery for that hearing aid. So that's how science has become, because they're discovering that our bodies are electric, our souls are wordectric, and that's the power that runs all mankind, especially the retarded garden. And like I said before, whatever you make, according to the Torah, is if you're capable of making something with your hands especially, that's what makes you the owner. It's not that you can buy it with money that makes you the owner. That's what they will have you think in the retarded garden. But the real owners of everything in the retarded garden, of every industry, is manpower. Everybody that has a job is part of the ownership of all the retarded garden. The reason why you don't see it, but you and I don't see it, is because we are left in the society to gather in social medias as consumers. We gather in Facebook as consumers to talk about what we ate, what places we went to vacation, what trips we're planning, what birthday party we had, what wedding we attended, what restaurant we're planning to go, what what park we want to be, going entertainment park, like Disneyland, traveling to this place. But it's all to talk about our consumer affairs. That's what all the social media. So that's how they keep us separated. There's no social media really to know and to harness all our energies, as creators in this retarded garden, as producers of products. That's why there's some people that are proud to display the work. They do. I have one of my students, Victor Lure. He does some flooring. He does some fine cleaning of flooring. And I see whenever he posts something, about the good job that he's doing, I always put a hug and a love in there because I like people that they take pride in their work and they don't mind displaying it because that's what makes you the owner of that place. That's what makes you the one that owns this retarded garden. So you don't have to be ridden by this mule. You can ride the mule, okay? But they don't want us to think that way. So they don't get us together in social medias that revolve around all that we own because each one of us has some little thing to do in this retarded garden. Some do the paperwork, some do the electrical work, some do the assembling of products, but everything is done by all of us. So all of us together own the retarded garden. He doesn't own us. And even the money that has to be passed around, other people manufacture the money and make that money for us to pass around. So we even are the manufacturers of money themselves. So you understand this? But so if you gather together the whole world as producers, as providers, as protectors, as builders, as people that are renovators, are innovators, all of that, then we will know that we own everything and we will not be fooled by anybody. That's why I have the CEOs.com and the CFOs.com. Since 2003, I got those names, and now I'm going to use them as a social media to gather all the people in society that contribute as makers and producers, because those are the ones that automatically have to keep at the bar, have to keep a word intact. And they already exercise that if they don't keep it at the bar, if they don't keep the word or whatever skill they possess as engineering or lawyers or anything, they're not going to be able to exercise their profession. So everybody knows that to run your business, to run whatever it is that you do, you have to learn that Davar and keep it safe and secure. So it automatically leads you into honoring the AlefBet, to honoring the alphabet and to living for the alphabet. But nobody trains you like that nowadays because nobody puts you in that environment. They just want you in a social media. It's all about just being stupid. Dancing a little stupid dance, doing something ridiculous, playing a joke, even showing charitable things to other people, to show off, give an idea that you are this kind of a kind person. All these kinds of things they do, but nobody is proud to show the good work that they're doing. Some people show that they're working in mechanics. I see somebody work, I give them a little hello and a little hug there, because I love that they're sharing the work that they're doing. That's what makes them the owners of this society, And so these are the things that people do not consider, and there's things that are being forgotten, but there's a lot of things that can be done, and that's why I'm saying, we overcome this by the knowledge, my people perish or my people are silenced. The word perish is dama, means they silence you because of lack of knowledge and understanding. Okay, so whenever all these leaders are coming, especially the politicians like Bernie Sanders and people like that never work a day in their life, but they became millionaires just by the pasel, the narrative of the politicians, to just give you ideas and dreams. If you put me in office, we can do this. If you put me in office, we can do this. In the meantime, I'm not going to work. I'm just going to be telling you ideas of what I can do for you. So until you put me in office, you'll see those things come. And they never work a day in their lives. People that just become millionaires and all that, never work. You're just talking pasel, the narrative that makes you carve images in your head about utopia. And it's interesting because, the word utopia means no place. Okay? People talking about building a utopia. The meaning of the word utopia means no place. There's no place. Because a real utopia is found in the word. And that's true. A utopia is no place. It's a word that you keep. Because when you have the word in the fullness of his knowledge, you project usefulness in this world. You project America if you know the Constitution. If you know the mindset of the founding fathers, then America is being projected and America is being kept. When you forget the Bill of Rights and forget the Constitution, you already have lost your country, my friend. The Democrats have not taken it away from you. You have lost it because you're not projecting. It is the word in you that enables you to keep and sustain something. When you forget that, you lose it. As simple as that. That applies to any profession. People forget to follow the manual, they lose the car industry. Forget to follow the manual, they lose whatever it is that they do if they don't follow everything according to the letter of their manual, okay? So all of that is understood, So that's the main thing that I'm trying to get you into. So if you understand that we can get together and we fellowship as people that are creative like that, and we can understand that we are vortectric, we will be in a far better shape than we have been so far. All right, so let me see. Let me see where I have that song word deck trick. I want to see if I can play it here. Give me a second. Yeah, I have it here. Okay, because I don't want to. Okay, we'll see what comes when I press here. Okay, let me see. Give me a second. Yeah, okay, I think it's here. Well, okay. Pow goes the powerhouse, and the COVID-19-Man has come to deliver you from the empty land, from the ones who have been silenced to the promised land of the AlefBet, which is the original place for the soul of a man, where he can now get his jubilee and abide safe like he's never been in the power of the Father, in the powerhouse, cause that's what word deck trick, Davar deck, in the AlefBet we're connected. Word deck trick, Davar deck, in the powerhouse we're connected. Choosing the Torah where it is, that's right. And whether you like it or not, I just don't give a damn. Cause in this thing, the end is gonna be for sure. It's got a date before the song began to score. This ain't no lie, we about to fly. Cause in the truth, there's nothing that can be denied. Here's the COVID-19-Man is hooking you up to the AlefBet, to the powerhouse, with your waving. The COVID-19-Man is gonna hook you up. Cause that's what word deck trick, Davar deck, in the AlefBet we're connected. Word deck trick, Davar deck, to no one else I'm genuflecting. Word deck trick, Davar deck, to the powerhouse I'm connected. And then I want to get your power back, cause you will find in there the powerhouse not scared, you won't be silenced. Nobody can touch what you will find in there. Gets to cut the masking back of lies. The righteous now they cries, cause the COVID-19-Man is gonna hook you up to the powerhouse. Leave the power show, ride this mule around. Pow goes the powerhouse, and the COVID-19-Man has come to deliver you from the empty land, from the ones who have been silenced to the promised land of the AlefBet, which is the original place for the soul of a man, where he can now get his jubilee and abide safe like he's never been in the power of the Father, in the powerhouse, cause that's what word deck trick, Davar deck, in the AlefBet we're connected. Word deck trick, Davar deck, in the powerhouse we're connected. Truth in the Torah where it is, that's right. And whether you like it or not, I just don't give a damn. Cause in this thing, the end is gonna be for sure. Got a date before the song began to score. This ain't no lie, we about to fly. Cause with the truth, there's nothing that can be denied. Here's the COVID-19-Man, okay, you to the AlefBet, to the powerhouse, with your waving. The COVID-19-Man is gonna hook you up. Cause that's what word deck trick, Davar deck, in the AlefBet we're connected. Word deck trick, Davar deck, to no one else I'm genuflecting. Word deck trick, Davar deck, to the powerhouse I'm connected. And then I want to get your power back, cause you will find in there the powerhouse not scared, you won't be silenced. Nobody can touch what you will find in there. Gets to cut the masking back of lies. The righteous now the cries, cause the COVID-19-Man is gonna hook you up to the powerhouse. Live the power show, ride this mule around. Oh, I'm so sorry. I keep forgetting. I turned it off to think. Okay, I lost a lot of stuff in here. Oh, well. I have to cut this out for you too. But I was talking about right now that I took you to this. Oh, and I lost everything earlier before too. Um, because I had you with the observatory here. Because I had taken you here, and I was talking about, that's how you got to see yourself as a power plant, in the power source. And you're here to empower the whole world. Sorry about losing the sound. Yes, I keep getting us to put the commercials and I forget to turn it off. So I have to be more careful with that. So that's how we got to look at ourselves, as a power source for everything in this retarded garden, because we are the ones with the words in us. We are guided to run these industries that are retarded, that do not do the FMR. And that's how we have to look at ourselves, in the society, and realize that we are the power running everything, okay? And so then I took you from there, I took you to this one, to this observatory. And the reason why I did this, I was talking about in the background, because I hear a lot of the rabbis, the rabbis that, about 2 or 3 hours of different rabbis, and I hear them because of the Talmudic teaching. They know a lot of stories, and they have a lot of wisdom in that area. Mostly what I've learned is from the Torah, and some Hebrew that I'm learning to understand. And so in the meantime, I learn from the story that they have to say. But a lot of them, I noticed they have like a lot of books in the background, the libraries, the encyclopedias. That's the background, a bunch of books. Because they like to think of themselves as being erudites, people that know, people of the book. That's what they're famous for. And they are people of the book. A lot of Nobel Prizes are Jewish and all of that. So they might be 1% of the people, but their contributions to the literacy, contributions to science, the contribution to a lot of things in this Melectic garden is phenomenal. Even in ideologies, Karl Marx, the people of communism, a Jew. Einstein, I believe, he came up with an AlefBet, the atomic bomb. But there's a lot of them that have all these things that are contributors, the people of the book. And so they're proud to display their books. But the reason why I put like buildings and I put the observatory, like you see, back there, the observatory and all these the buildings, is because those things are not really what you see they are. They are there, but they are a projection of blueprints. They are a projection of books and manuals that had to be displayed and had to be taken into the soul of a man, and that soul of a man becomes empowered because he's vortetric and he's able to be the manpower to build all these things first and to cause them to surface out of the ground. So they just don't come by themselves. They come out of a blueprint. They come out of a book. So those things that you see in the back, that's a whole library. It takes a whole library of instructions to build a whole city like that. Okay? So I put you, then the things that you are portraying, you're here to project all these things. One, you take in the words. You are the vortetric, Davarectic, the manpower that runs everything. And do not let anybody else tell you otherwise, okay? So that's what we're learning, as we're going in this thing here to get to claim our heritage. Because if you realize that you were made to be that way, you will be in tune with just being in the character of your maker and understanding the Torah, so you can reveal, the way he feels about about dealing with mankind, dealing with his environment, because it's all God flowing out of us. Okay, so we'll be readily and available to do all these things, okay? So that's what we have forgotten, right? So this is the thing that I do, But let me take you now to the observatory so we can read something. Let me take this thing out and bring sort of Laura out first before I take you there, see if it's going to appear here. All right, it's going to show me that. All right, so show me this, so let me see if I can go to let's see, I think it's gonna show if I go here. All right, let me think. Give me a second here. I gotta see if I can move this to the back, if it allows me to do this. Move up, move down. It's not letting me go down. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to do something about this right now. So Okay, so for some reason it doesn't let me share this, so let me take you, I think it will share me the screen for this. And on the observatory, I think I have this one. Okay, share that either. So, okay, I think I can move this one to the back, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, and I can move this to the forward. I'm sorry, guys, I should have this more prepared, but like I said, this Monday is a crazy day for me. But we're trying our best here. So I think I can move this one to the top, right? Yeah, this is where you guys are. Perfect. All right. Now let me see here. So I want to go look at the Bible here. Bible guy away, and put Ezekiel 34. I wanted to read this with you guys today. And 34. Gotta make sure that the sound is working. Okay, I don't want to get behind again here. So, since it won't let me show the sword of the Lord, I will do this way, I guess. Yeah, let me show the arrow here. I can do this anyhow. So here's, and the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy against the shepherds of Israel. Prophesy and say unto them, Thus saith the Lord God unto the shepherds, Woe be to the shepherds of Israel that do feed themselves. Should not the shepherd feed the flocks? Ye eat the fat, and ye clothe you with wool, wool suits. Ye kill them that are fed, but ye feed not the flock. The deceased have ye not strengthened. Okay, he's talking about the people here, the flock. He's talking about the people. He's comparing them to sheep here, but but the shepherd are not taking care of them. The deceased, the ones that are sick among them, they have not strengthened them, and neither have ye healed that which was sick, neither have ye bound up that which was broken, neither have ye brought up again that which was driven away, neither have ye sought that which was lost, but with force and with cruelty have ye ruled them. Okay? In other words, just like the rest of the people. So don't think that these retarded people that are telling all the economists right now to go to their homes, people like Newsom and all these governors that are feeling power because they come up with stupid mandates. Don't think that they are the first one that started with this. The people that were the shepherds of Israel. People just get into this thing automatically. You fall into that, because it's one thing if you if you're given a leadership position and you do not understand, the mindset of God, because the mindset of God is to be a father to his children. He's never going to, if God is going to be your father, he's going to do it in a very tender way. If you're going to know him, as a father, you're going to understand, and it's all, he wants to give all of himself to you, to completely flow out of you. And when we don't want the Torah, we're just rejecting that. We're saying, I'll wait with that guy. I'm not ready for that. I want to see what I can enjoy in the retarded garden for a while. And so God allows you to go deep into the retarded garden to find out what these people of power that you're going to call your papa and your mama because they're going to be your leaders, you're going to see how they're going to take big advantage of you. Because you forgot your true father. These people are going to come and they're just going to run you through the mud. They're going to make a killing out of you, like all this prosperity, teachers of our time, that they just do everything to have you do things so that they will fatten their pockets and do everything, So that's why God is complaining about that. It says, but with a force and with cruelty have you ruled them. Verse 5 says, and they were scattered because there is no shepherd. People automatically, if they're not taken care of, they're going to go looking for somebody to take care of them. So that's why a lot of the churches are empty, a lot of the synagogues, all these things, because the people are just into their own little traditions, into their own little way of doing things, and they say it's my way or the highway, conform to my traditions, conform to my ruleship. The door is out there, you can hit the road, get the road jack and all this. They have their own ways of doing things, And God knows that they are there just practically to use the ministry just to fatten themselves, in their pockets, in their bodies, in whatever way, to fatten their bank accounts. So my sheep wandered through all the mountains. Verse 6. And upon every high hill, yea, my flock was scattered upon all the face of the earth. Because those shepherds, that they had were not with the heart of the AlefBet of the Father. And none did search or seek after them. So, let them go wander. Let a shepherd, right? Do not go looking after the sheep. The worst kind of sheep. It says, therefore, verse 7, therefore ye shepherds, hear the word of the Lord. As I live, saith the Lord God, surely because my flock became a prey, and my flock became meat to every beast of the field, because there was no shepherd, neither did my shepherds search for my flock, but the shepherds fed themselves, and fed not my flock. Therefore, O ye shepherds, hear the word, of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord God, behold, I am against the shepherds, and I will require my flock at their hand, and cause them to cease from feeding the flock. Neither shall the shepherds feed themselves any more, for I will deliver my flock from their mouth, and that they may not be meat for them. They used to consume their goods for their own, for themselves. For thus saith the Lord God, behold, I, even I, will both search my sheep and seek them out, as a shepherd seeketh out his flock in the day that he is among his sheep that are scattered. So will I seek out my sheep, and I will deliver them out of all places where they all have been scattered in the cloudy and dark day. Okay? So he's going to do this in the cloudy and dark day, and that's the days we're in right now. Very cloudy and very dark. Okay? Because people do not know how to make sense of it right now. They're living in the dark right now. Okay? And I will seek out my sheep, and I will deliver them out of all places where they have been scattered in the cloudy and dark day. And I will bring them out from the people and gather them from the countries, and will bring them to their own land, and feed them upon the mountain of Israel by the rivers, and in all the inhabited places of the country. I will feed them in a good pasture, and upon the high mountains of Israel shall their fold be. There shall they lie in a good, fold, and in a fat pasture shall they feed upon the mountains of Israel. I will feed my flock, and I will cause them to lie down, say the Lord God. I will seek that which was lost, and bring again that which was driven away. Okay, so God is about, that's what he's doing on the cloudy day. He's driven away, and I will bind them up, or bind up that which was broken, and I will strengthen that which was sick. But I will destroy the fat and strong, and I will feed them with judgment. Talking about the shepherds here. And as for you, O my flock, thus say the Lord God, behold, I judge between cattle and cattle, between the rams and the he-goats. Seemeth it a small thing unto you to have eaten up the good pasture, but ye must tread down with your feet the residue of your pastures, and to have drunk of the deep waters, but ye must foul the residue with your feet. And as for my flock, they eat that which ye have trodden with your feet, and they drink that which ye have fouled with your feet. In other words, they use the Torah to teach their own things, and they mess it up so that they foul the sheep that comes in. They eat the stuff that has been messed up with tradition and all different things that do not match with the character of the AlefBet. So they are left with that. Okay, verse 20. Therefore, thus say the Lord God unto them, Behold, I, even I, will judge between the fat cattle and between the lean cattle, because ye have thrust ye have thrust with side and with shoulder, and push all the deceased with your horns, till ye have scattered them abroad. So here he's looking at all of them, all of them together, even including the fat shepherds, right? They are part of the sheep, but they just work there like those, like bullies, taking advantage of the weak ones. Till ye have scattered them abroad, therefore will I save my flock, and they shall no more be a prey. And I will judge between cattle and cattle, and I will set up one shepherd over them, and he shall feed them, even my servant David. He shall feed them, and he shall be their shepherd. Okay, let's go. And I, the Lord, will be their God. Okay, so David, this is the Messiah. Notice that the David is not a God. The Messiah is never a God. He's a servant. It's my servant David. Okay, he's referring, so the Messiah is never to be a God. He's a servant of Hashem. God will remain who he is. And the Lord, and Adonai will be their God. And my servant David, a prince among them. I, the Lord, have spoken it. And I will make with them a covenant of peace. And I will cause the evil beast to cease out of the land, and they shall dwell safely in the wilderness. Take it up here. In the wilderness, and sleep in the woods. And I will make them and the places around about my hill a blessing. And I will cause the shower to come down in his season. There shall be showers of blessings. That's what people get that song. There shall be showers of blessings. And the tree of the field shall yield her fruit, and the earth shall yield her increase, and they shall be safe in their land, and shall know that I am the Lord, when I have broken the band of the yoke, and deliver them out of the hand of those that serve themselves of them. Okay, verse 28. And they shall no more be a prey to the heathen, neither shall the beast of the land devour them, but they shall dwell safely, and none shall make them afraid. That was what I was talking the other day. And I will raise up from them a plant of renown, and they shall be no more consumed with hunger in the land, neither shall bear the shame of the heathen anymore. In the Jewish Bible, it says a planting of and they think of this as that God is going to bring up plenty of harvest, so that everything will be yielding fruit all year round. And that's a way that, but I'd like to think of it as God is going to raise a plant, just like he raised the power plant of Moses. And it says, and I like that what it says here, and that ye shall be no more consumed with hunger. Okay? Because what is the hunger of people? Especially the hunger at this time. People are hungry for meaning right now because they don't know what to make up of this situation that they're right now. They're going through all this obscurity right now, as they try to make sense, what the world has brought them to, with this pandemic and this so-called virus and this vaccine and everything that's going on. They have to wear a mask. Other people are saying you're fools for wearing a mask. And there's a lot of people going against each other. Political parties are in upheaval. People fighting, ideologies tumbling, and all things are. It seems like everything is running crazy. You turn in the news, and people are bombarding you with their own narrative. That Trump is this malevolent kind of fellow that has never done any good, and it's all kinds of stuff going out there to drive you nuts. You keep looking at it 24/7 and thinking to get a solution out of it. You're just going to get stressed out of your wits because there is no solution with the wicked. The wicked are like the troubled sea, whose waters cannot rest. There is no peace, saith my God, unto the wicked. Okay? Because they depend on you believing the narrative. So they feed you with horror stories, of everybody saying bad things about everybody, how things are going under, and how these people need to be stopped, these people need to be censored, because otherwise this is going to happen. You got to trust us. We know what is best for you. Big tech is running, their powerful mouth, doing things whatever they want, but they're cutting their own head, because if they're going to cut off and ban conservatives, which are the ones that have the most money, because the other ones want the easy life of just having money hand out, stimulus checks, and see everything. They don't like to work. They like things. So these people are not going to support these industries. So they are cutting their own leg, by censoring people that are the ones that pay the most money to sustain them. And it comes back to bite them in their butt for their stupid decisions. So let them do whatever they're doing, But these are the things that are running the world right now. And so right now, the people that are not instructed that the bar was not built in the Torah, it was not built, in the papyrus solution, in the parting of the Red Sea. Those are people that therefore are hungry for meaning right now, because they have realized that whatever they became specialists in, whatever the bar, whether it was engineering, has failed them, whether they were lawyers, that the bar has failed them, whether they were chemists, whatever it is, the economy has caused everybody to just shake in their boots right now. So they're hungry for meaning, okay? And so they want to know, what kind of industry is a secure industry? What's an ehad? A strong, secure administration. Aleph, Het, and Dalet. Strong, secure administration. They want that. That's what the word ehad means. A strong or powerful, secure, safe and secure administration, the Dalet. So they're looking for that. What is that ehad? What is that one secure administration that I can dedicate myself and never have to deal with these worries and these stressing things that are stressing me out now, because I don't know what to deal with the situation, I thought the things that I have dedicated my life were going to save me of this hour, but apparently they're not. Everything stands a chance of being lost. So nobody's trusting in whatever they accomplish, because everything is just going under, down the toilet with all the paper, the toilet paper that they bought, right? So these are the things that are causing people to tremble, right? So they are wondering about the Davar, that has not been built in the Torah. So they're hungry for the meaning. So they're looking for that ehad, that secure, that powerful, secure administration, that economy that cannot be messed with anything. And that is the original one. To understand the mindset that hooks you up, that does the mitzvahs of connecting you with the mindset, the wisdom of God, the rashit, the wisdom of God, so that you're able to be the habitation and the dwelling place of God here on earth, and therefore his character is not changing, and therefore you will always be free, to project him anywhere you are, because that's my joy right now at this hour, because I am in that ehad. I'm in that powerful, strong administration, because I am seated down on the power source, the AlefBet, and I am now his official power plant for this hour, and that's why I'm not hungry for meaning. I know how things run. I know what he wants to do and what he's doing this. He's collecting the Davar back to the service for him that he wanted to have it originally. So he has frustrated all the Davar that men have constructed, in their attempt to run the AlefBet. And they have not even coming approximately close to whatever he has done. So this is what happened at this hour. So they're looking for that ehad, that strong, secure administration, which is only found in Hashem alone. Okay, so that's what God is showing with all these things that are going on. And so that's why it says in verse 28 and verse 29, and I will raise up for them a plan of renown. This power plan is going to be able to, so they'll the more be consumed with hunger. Because right now, me as the power plan of God, what am I giving you? The alphabet. To introduce you to the mindset of the Father, okay? And once you have the mindset of the Father, you are a caretaker of everybody, because what you're depositing into everybody is a portion of the alphabet. And the alphabet is not only the father that gives you the mindset, but it's the child that you're going to make sure that he grows into the fullness of the father, into the next soul. So every person that you give it to is your child to raise up into the fullness of AlefBeticizing, making sure that people grow up to the stature of the Father. So that's why it's the most greatest economy to get into, and so there's not going to be any more hunger for meaning, because you understand the purpose. You understand that the power source and you're the power plant. There's no limit to what you can do in this world. You can duplicate everything in this world in the retarded garden, and you can do a lot of things to represent his character, and that's never ending. I was gonna read a little portion of this. Let me read this. Thus shall they know that I, the Lord. But I want to see if I can share this in the Jewish, because I like also that version a little bit. Just to, the one that I usually go here is called the Complete Jewish Bible. That's usually I look at. So we can look at different versions here. So what he talk about, let me see about my servant David. Look at the way he says it here. Behold, I will judge because ye have trust. Okay. Verse 23. And I will set up one shepherd over them, and he shall feed them, even my servant David. And he shall feed them, and he shall be their shepherd. Verse 24. And I, the Lord, shall be their God, and my servant David a prince among them. As the Lord have spoken. Oh, okay, I did not change it. This is still King James, I think. So I did not change. I gotta make it go to complete Jewish. So I gotta change it here. The word of Adonai. Now it's Jewish version. Let me go to verse 23 again. Okay. Okay. All right. So here we go. And I will raise up one shepherd to be in charge of them, and he will lead them, and he will let them feed. Let them eat, because the shepherds, the other ones are yours, eat them themselves. My servant David, he will pasture them and be their shepherd. Adonai will be their God, and my servant David will be prince among them. I, Adonai, have spoken. I will make a covenant of peace with them, and I will rid the land of wild animals, and they shall live securely in the desert and sleep in the forest. But the thing is, I was saying this because when it comes to prince, there's another portion that says that, and David will be their king, But the thing is, I was hearing a rabbi last night talking about, that a lot of people don't trust kings because a lot of kings have been bad for a long time. And so for a long time, Israel as a nation had been without a king, And they don't think that they will want to have kings in the future anymore, because the kings in the past proven to be, much power was given to them, and they become absolute power corrupts, But the reason is because the thing is, this is what I thought when but he said, but this David is going to be so good that people are going to want him to be king. The thing was saying, but I understood because kingship or royalty, the crown, that has not ended. Mankind always wants to have a king, as a king, knowledge and understanding. Okay, and the way they show that is when they go to college, okay, and they get a master's. They say, I got a master's in this, okay, whatever field it is, a master's in whatever field that you go to study, whatever subject you master. But they say they have a master's in this because they think they master the knowledge, but that's not what it is. When you master something, that means when you're the master of something, means you tell it what to do, and then it has to do what you tell it. Then you master. But when you go to learn as any subject, whether it be chemistry, engineering, I don't care what books you go to learn, those books are already set and fixed. And you go to become subservient to their teachings. So when you learn something, then you have become the servant of that knowledge, and that knowledge becomes your king. But you like that knowledge to be your king, Because that way, once you possess the title of engineering, they possess the title of doctor, possess the title of whatever, you get respect out of society because you're wearing the crown of that knowledge. You know, that's your king. That knowledge becomes your king. That knowledge becomes your master. But you don't mind that because that master is not taking anything from you. It's giving you everything. It's empowering you in this society. So you don't mind to have knowledge be king over you. So people that say, I mastered this, they have never mastered. The knowledge has mastered you. That's the truth, my friend. Because that means if you master something, that means you take to the book, the hell with you, the hell with you, book of engineering, you're going to do what I tell you. So I'm going to write, and you're going to be, the things that I write are going to be engineering. It doesn't work. That's when you will say, I have mastered it. No. When you graduate from something, the knowledge has mastered you. The knowledge has become your king. Okay? And people don't mind having knowledge and understanding that they get from their colleges, even if they go work in the retarded garden. They don't want that. They don't mind those things being their king and crown because those things make you advance in this retarded garden. Okay? So that's why they're not going to mind David being their king and prince, because David is not about getting anything from people. David is about giving everything to them, you know, and becoming a parent to everybody that has the AlefBet, because David is full of the AlefBet. That's why he dedicated the whole Psalm 119 to the AlefBet, because that's the whole thing about the Father. And so he extends the embrace of the Father to everything. So like a father wants to feel like he's a good father when his children are doing better than him, that's exactly the mindset of David. And so, you know, he empowers you with the knowledge that he has and everything so that you will be more powerful than him. So, you know, automatically they're not going to mind because they're already being trained through this retarded garden that getting knowledge that makes you profitable in this world is a good king to have on your shoulders. It's a good king to elevate and carry as a crown, you know, and sustain it, you know. But the people are proud to say, I have mastered it, you know, because they don't want to say that they're subjects. But everybody, knowledge and understanding of everything that needs to be made is always king over an empty mind. And when an empty mind gets under it, it becomes a subject of it. So all the knowledge to take care of the retarded garden are kings, are crowns that are running everybody. And people, in order to prosper and be profitable in this retarded garden, they have to acquiesce and they have to get under the tutelage and learning. So you understand? So that's why the idea of being king in that sense, because that's the kind of king David is. All right? That wants them to be filled with the Torah, to be wordectric, to be dabarectic, to be connected with the source of the power, you know, and not to be deprived of the original reason for what they were created, so that nobody messes with them. So now nobody will make them afraid. So the people doesn't mind that because they're already been trained to take on the kings in this world. Knowledge and understanding are the kings of everybody that goes to college and everybody. That's why they go to be crowned with the knowledge of understanding of whatever subject they say that they master, but actually they have been mastered by the subject. Okay, the subject is your king, and you are the subject. You understand? You are the one under, and the subject that you call the subject, that's the one on top of you, because whatever knowledge it is, chemistry, mechanic, industry, anything that you learn, that book is king over you, and you are its subject. That's the real. I dare you to tell me otherwise, because that's exactly how it is. People just want to boast that they have mastered, but I think they study and everything that they have been mastered by it. You become a subject. You said, yes, my master. Lead my thoughts, lead my mind, because with that I will prosper in this retarded garden. So that's the facts. So that's the kind of king that David is. So the whole world doesn't mind that, because the whole world is trained to bow under, you know, a knowledge that makes them prosper. And so when David brings you the knowledge that gives you the Davar that cannot be shaken by anything in an economy, they're going to run to that David, you know, and to listen to what he has to offer, because he's not taking anything away from them. That David is not about taking anything, but to giving everything from the understanding of the Torah to everything that he comes across. That's what David is all about, and that's what people doesn't mind, you know, that kind of knowledge, because they already bow down to knowledge. All right, so these are the things that we need to remember, okay? And let's see how we're doing back here. All right, so we have some people in. How are we doing here, people? I know, I'm sorry, I was for a while, I kept going on and off, you know. Hey, Minor Garcia, amigo Zacarías. Canta Hava, Nagila Hava, Nagila Hava, Nagila He, Masa. That's something when I used to go to boarding school in Guatemala. I have a friend visiting me, 13 years, 12 years old. I used to play that in my guitar. The people remember that. It's good to have you here, Minor. Qué bueno que me visitaste. Yeah, the mic was off a few times. I'm so sorry. But I can't come back that far. So I'm glad you guys are keeping in touch here. But so sorry, Andy can read his lips. What's he say? I'm so sorry. I went off a few times, but I hope you're still around to hear the rest of it, But this is what we're doing. So you understand what I'm talking to you about, So this is what we're looking into today, We want to encourage you to get into the papyrus solution, to get into the Torah. I'm opening it up for you so that you have that understanding open. Because when you get into the Torah, you become the kind of leader with God. That's what Israel means. You is prince of leader with God. Because in the Bible, when it says that God made man, to have dominion over everything that he had made, man was going to have dominion over everything with God. As long as he kept listening to God. Shema. Pay attention. So when man was created with that purpose, then Israel was mentioned right there. God, from the very beginning, he wanted mankind to be a leader with him. And that's the meaning of Israel. Prince with God or leader with God. And so even before, Jacob was given that name, he was given from the very beginning when he said the purpose. We were supposed to have dominion over everything. Man was made to have dominion over everything. That means he was going to be prince with God. So the original purpose was there, So Israel was chosen, so that God will say, you may have forgotten the purpose, but I have chosen a nation to remind you that the purpose for which I created mankind is still going to keep going until the very end, And then everybody will understand, that's why the truth is found in them, and what Zechariah 8:23 says is going to happen. Zechariah says that day they will go and tug on the sleeve of a Jew. Says, we hear that God is with you, teachers, because the Torah has been with them and they have taken it all over the world. They have suffered, they have been persecuted, they have been treated like sheep to the slaughter. Isaiah 53 is all about the servant, Israel. It's not about what Christianity talks about. It is them that took the light and everything. Because everything about the servant is being referred to in chapter 40s and all of that, and it goes all the way to that there. So, it might be hard for you to swallow that because, you're into your traditions. But it is, nobody was going to believe because through all the things they went. And as the people of Israel went through all the nations and they abandoned the Torah, and then, then they would join into their shame, into following their little gods. Then God, will do something to punish them, to show them, that you have called you as a special people, and so to bring them out so they will suffer for the shame that the other nations and the pagans, that the other people did. So it was basically them that suffered for it, So it's so rich with understanding the whole book of Isaiah, when you see it there from the goal of God making the whole mankind. And he shows in the people to keep the goal of we being leaders with God, we being prince with God, but now he's turning it all around and he's bringing it now to bear, and so that is what is happening in our time, okay? So, I'm going to try to start earlier tomorrow, but this is the things that I wanted to share today. I wanted to go over the whole passage to understand, that I'm here as the power plant of the power source, to bring you at this hour back to your source, to build your Davar in the Torah. So I'm doing the parting of the Red Sea, the opening up of the papyrus solutions, because that's what it was pointing to. It, that thing that I showed you at the beginning in the Moses parting the Red Sea. That was, and we part the Torah, we open it up, Okay, and we get into it to understand the mindset of our maker so that we build the Davar. So that the Davar is built as the temple of his mindset instead of the temple of all different things in the retarded garden. Because everybody that has a building is dedicated to whatever, to cars, to computers, and everything becomes a temple of a particular knowledge. All right, but then those things fail and crumble when the economy goes under like right now. So you want a Davar that is strong and can withhold, with anything that comes. All right, so I'm glad some of you were able to join me today. Thank you for warning me when the thing was off. I'm gonna be looking more carefully. So Rosa came in. All right. Minor, qué bueno verte, amigo. Qué bueno que visitaste. And so I had so few people show up in here. That's good. All right. So I'm going to have to apologize. Make a note tomorrow as I do it from YouTube. It says some parts are muted, but because I forgot to turn the mic, please be patient and it will come back. Because I don't know how many times I did it. But that's going to teach me to be more careful for tomorrow. All right. So let me see. So like I said, we're here to part the Red Sea, open up the Torah, give you the papyrus solution so you will enter in the mindset and build your Davar for the original purpose for which God gave it to you. Gave you the word so you will be living his mindset, and that word becomes the beta Megdash inside of you because it's sacredly dedicated, to understanding his mindset. And then it's easy to build up a temple out here. But because we have to make the Davar, the beta Megdash inside of us, a temple dedicated to the mindset of the Reshit, of the wisdom of God, and then therefore we're going to have something that we can project. Just like a nation is not formed without the founding fathers first thinking of the whole idea of creating a whole constitution, and then they can go and project it on the land. So there's no beta Megdash, no temple that can be created unless our Davar is the temple, the beta Megdash, dedicated to the mindset of the Ruach, the mindset of the Spirit, the mindset of the Reshit, of the wisdom of God. Okay, and that's what's going to prepare us to be ready to tackle the situation of this hour. So let me see if I can see. I think let me see. I can have here. I think this is the song that I wanted to share to finish with here. Let me see. Oh yeah, here we go. Red Sea parting, Red Sea parting. You make all our leaders that guide the nations, making stars that lead us in our imaginations, in our confessions. Your hidden mystery I see. In plain sight you have done it all. Within your Aleph done all the workings, showing so elusive his splendid all. In your milvado is done at all, in silence his eye can guide us. Discern and notice his works still distiller, his works still distiller, now shines from Jesus. All right. By the way, I'm gonna get better at that. Just started a week of practice. The thing is that I can reach to the end, but still my voice cracks here a little bit here and there. But that's just being open with you as best as I can, because I'm happy that I can finish it now. I couldn't finish that end before, but now as I be doing the V pollen and all that, my voice has gotten stronger, in that sense. And this is on top of the fact that I work 12 hours. My voice is being used the whole day. And then I go and practice that. This is one of the things I was doing. I was working, and then I went and did this. So, a lot of the singers, they just dedicate themselves just to sing, But I do all kinds of stuff. I run a show here. I run this thing, I prepare everything. I do songs. I write them. I sing them, and I work out 12 hours a day. So it's like, I got to keep up with all this stuff. Thank God, He gave me the energy to do it. And still my voice is holding. So I can see that my voice has got very strong because of that. So, in any case, it was a pleasure to have you today, and I'll try to start a little earlier tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to be at 7 because it's so hard, I say, but it'll be sooner than I started today, probably maybe 7:30, but I'll do as soon as I can, But the thing I say, like, I have a lot of stuff, and I'm going to get together and see, what will be best. But the thing is, it's a good time to be fellowshipping so we can get into the right mindset, as the world is going crazy after all crazy things right now that do not profit the soul anyhow. Because these are things from the clay pot. The clay pot is is the peel. They're only the peel, the coming off, and making a big noise as it's cracking out. So don't worry about it. God is in control of everything, because at the end of the day, the Davar that is made as given to us to portray His mindset, that's what He's going to empower his servant David to do, and that's what I'm giving you guys, okay? The bar that lasts forever and is not affected by retarded mulectic, industries that want to be run by a donkey right now, with the help of its cohorts, the Dominion, right? They want to dominate the world. You gotta realize that a donkey is to be ridden on, not to ride humanity, but they want to ride the whole world right now with their Dominion cohorts. But it's not going to happen because, God happens to be calling everybody to the home to the strong tower, that is, the AlefBet, the Father, the strong home. And that's, where I'm going to lead you with with all these teachings. That's my aim, to bring you there and to give you a strong Davar. All right, so let me close with this here. I love each one of you that came by today, Hope to see you tomorrow. I'm going to keep this going this whole week, because we need to be established in the papyrus solution, all right?